And then another guy, a new guy came in, a newcomer, Justin in Time, says, I find it interesting that a poorly crafted video was selected to react to and debunk. I'm relatively new here. From quick look around, it does seem like you actually have a lot bigger videos and scans as to why Superman would win again. Since I'm new here, I could be wrong on the fact. Also, a quick question, if you think that the consistency of the writer intent are most important, then does that mean that Saitama can wipe the floor with Goku since it's narratively written and currently consistent to have no limits to his power, unlike Goku, who does? Okay, I'll just go through his. He's more like, I guess, a Saitama fan. But his one, he said, you were looking at a poorly crafted video and stuff, so he even agrees that was badly crafted and debunked it. Somebody suggested it to me. I did not choose it. I think it was Sunik Sunil or CJ. I think he suggested it, but somebody suggested it to me. I did not, go out of my way to pick it out, so you can't really put that on me when somebody else did that. And I literally said in the video, I was like, this guy told me. I always do that. When somebody recommends a video, I say, this person recommended me this video. So I already said that. Also, I like to go to videos that are poorly crafted for that reason. I stated before that there's no point of watching a video where I'm going to agree with it and I have no problem with the points. The reason why I go to these badly crafted videos is to point out the inaccuracies that some people might get. The whole point is to, give them the correct information and try to remove misinformation. Sometimes I might give it, but not intentionally. It's just that I don't know, but at least I try to, be more open with that. But some people, they give confirmation saying this is exactly the way it is. And that's what he was doing in that video. So I saw poorly crafted arguments and I wanted to go through it. And that's what I do. It's not to make myself look like a genius, like, oh, I'm a genius, see, look at I did this. But it is to be like, because like you guys have seen it, when I've watched videos of ones that I agreed with, I'm just sitting here just nodding my head. What's the point of doing that, right? Why would I watch a video where I'm just gonna nod my head to it? You would rather watch one where I can have a conversation with it, and I can have more of a conversation with the video where I disagree with and has points that I think are wrong. Then when I disagree with, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I agree with it. I can add on some stuff which I've done, but I think those ones are better because there's more to do it. And like I said, if I feel like something's super wrong, I want to talk about it. So that you can't really put that on me. And then he said, and then he says. What's it called? Also, a quick question. If you think consistency in writing intent is most important, then does that mean Saitama wipes the floor with Goku? Because he said his power has no limits. It was already disproven towards the end of... it's still going, but like towards the end when I made that video about how strong Saitama is, Genos... Cosmic Garo surpassed Saitama, and he had to get stronger to surpass him. So if he was limitless, he wouldn't need to break any ceiling. There would be no ceiling, especially if he's has no limits. So that was incorrect, and I went through that. That's what I was explaining. So then going back to Rigo, because he was the one who started this whole thread. He said, first of all, the fifth dimension in DC isn't 5D. It is just a nominal fallacy to assume because it's called the fifth dimension that it only goes up to 5 septoporal dimensions. Even a single universe has been shown to be pan-dimensional via Hilbert space. Even if he wasn't up to fifth dimension in DC, he will at least be high hyperversal. Also, well, you have to show that the fifth dimension in DC is well above fifth dimension in ours. Also, what contests as being a fifth dimensional level being in R1? Because if you look in Wikibbattle, they don't say anything what being fifth dimensional level means. So even if he wasn't at that, at least he would have reversal. Also, Superman has scaled above Mxyzptlk, and no fanboy. Even proper skills will tell you that. No. Variant Comics wouldn't tell you that. Comics Explained wouldn't tell you that. What are the other ones? Comicstorian or something like that. Look at all these other comic book channels. Look at the Mxyzptlk ones. They're not going to tell you Superman surpassed Mxyzptlk. It's only you dumbasses that believe that because you love dick riding him, because you are fanboys. I know Superman does not scale above him. Like I said, the Emperor Joker storyline, that was literally contradicted. He stated there. And this guy used that. So he clearly did not even read his own story. So if you're going to use that as an argument, the Emperor Joker storyline, and try to make it a point that Superman has surpassed him, then why would you use one that contradicted it? Whatever. He said because there's preponderance of evidence and proof Supes holds back against Mxyzptlk and can hurt him if he wants to. It's gotten to the point Superman is scared Mxyzptlk just by looking at him vaguely. Look, him staring at Mxyzptlk getting... The reason why it would scare him is Mxyzptlk is more goofy and playful. So to see somebody like Superman get angry, it's like, you know, it's out of the norm. So it's kind of weird for him. It's not like he's actually terrified of him. It's like when Beerus got scared when Goku got, you know, Kaioken times 10 on top of his Super Saiyan Blue. He wasn't actually afraid of him because he's stronger than him. It's just that he was surprised and shocked, like, whoa, what the fuck? So it's the same thing in that regard, unless if you're too stupid to understand, you know, how writing works. But then he also saying Superman is holding back against him. No, that's not the case. Superman has never held back against him. Why would he hold back against Mxyzptlk? I mean, Mxyzptlk is strong enough to tank his hard hits. If he doesn't hold back, so explain this to me. Mxyzptlk is above Darkseid's avatar. We've seen countless times Mxyzptlk fuck with Darkseid's avatar, right? If he's above that, and Superman when he fights against Darkseid, he says he doesn't hold back. He says the thing that's great about fighting you is I don't have to hold back. So he goes all out on him, even if it's not 100%. He's still able to go out on him pretty well, right? So he goes out all out on Darkseid because he considers him a big enough threat to do that, right? But then you have Mxyzptlk, who's above Darkseid, well above Darkseid. Unless you're saying Darkseid is above him, which goes into another level of stupidity. But he's well above Darkseid. But now when he's against Mxyzptlk, Superman holds back. So he doesn't hold back against Darkseid, who's weaker than Mxyzptlk. But now he's against a guy who's stronger than Darkseid, but holds back more. Why? And also, Mxyzptlk should be strong enough, even if Superman is, lets go, he can let go off a decent enough amount of power. But he doesn't. He's always on the bottom of him. He's always trying to find another way to beat him instead of physically. And like I said, if he has that power, just knock him out. Why fucking let him do all this shit? Just knock him out, throw him away. Why didn't he just take out Emperor Joker easily? Oh yeah, you don't have any arguments for that because you're a dumbass. Unless you want to go on Discord or whatever. So yeah, that's completely wrong. And then he said, and then KYB comes back, says, you don't even know the cosmology of DC. It's really sad. I do know the cosmology of DC. I've explained in videos before. I literally explained that they stated there's infinite, but there was 1,000 that Antimatter wiped out, then there was 5, and then he combined those 5. I talked about the Speed Force, how the Speed Force worked. I've talked about, I talked about, what's the thing called? Yeah, I talked about the Speed Force. What other entities I talked about in the DC cosmology? I also talked about if you destroy Oa, you basically destroy Oa in the Prime Universe, you destroy the multiverse. Or if you destroy the Earth, you can destroy the multiverse. So I do know the cosmology. What this fucking loser is trying to tell me is I need to know everything about the DC cosmology. I need to literally know every single detail to be able to make an argument. That's not how it works. You don't need to know every single detail of a universe, especially if that character doesn't scale up to, which he makes an argument later on. But I don't need to know everything. Saying, well, you don't know everything about it, so that means you don't know anything. That's not how it works. You don't need to know everything. That's stupid. It's really sad. It's really sad that you think just because you read a lot of these comic storylines that you know shit, but then you don't really know anything when you make your arguments. It says, nice grammar again. Once again, grammar Nazis doesn't matter. I'm destroying you with my points here. Don't want to read this book, then don't debate, otherwise I win by default. And before you ask, yes, I'll type all this myself if I had time. Yeah, you're a fucking loser, obviously. You're giving me whole ass essays like I give that much of a shit. But now I'm making a response to it because you guys won't leave me alone. So hopefully this will... I'm hoping this shit you guys fuck up. I don't think it will, though. Yeah, he's like, if you want to read the book, then don't debate me otherwise. What book? I don't mind reading a book to learn more about cosmology. I never said that. Don't debate me otherwise. I can use that logic too. Because he keeps on making false claims about me. If you're not going to check out my videos and know my points on these arguments, then don't fucking argue with me otherwise. Because you keep on making statements. I said it's universal. You're saying that, I said that I ignored the laser shit, the bullet shit. You're saying all these other things that I believe this, I believe that. But I never said that. So don't tell me, if you're not going to willing to read the book to understand more about the DC cosmology, then don't talk to me. If you're not going to check out my entire videos and know what the fuck I talk about or what I think about, then don't talk to me, dumbass. I can use the same shit. So, okay, he starts off with, there are 50... He goes through a lot of explanations with the cosmology. Like I said, I know enough. I don't need to know everything. I'm not going to go through all of it. This video is already mega long. I think this is going to be my longest video. Once again, it's on you guys. If you guys responded so much, it's on your fault. So he says right here, a bunch of other stuff. He said the DC 6 trillion light years. He says that the DC arguments have called a four-type multiversal. If you don't know what is the DC, essentially, if you make any Superman, uh, uh, essentially this makes any feat Superman performs a universal level, which are over 60 post crisis, far above baseline universal level light. Okay, so where are these feats? These are the best feats that you can prove. There's so many channels that have these stuff about Superman, but they don't show these universal feats. Why didn't there's countless channels talking about Superman is why Superman is universal, why Superman is universal? Because they don't have enough of these feats. These feats are not really real. But yeah, he says trillions of light years. I've already said that in that video with the death battle. I said it was 100 trillion light years. They said it, and I said I agree with it. I didn't have a problem with that. The fuck are you talking about, dude? And he said, light in DC is also faster than in real life. What you would normally scale to it is actually more akin to a tier called irrelevant speed, which I don't go with that, so get the fuck out of here with that, which is nonlinear movement beyond concepts of distance and time. First of all, where did you get that information that the light speed in DC moves faster than light in our world? Did they give you a mathematical calculation? Because in our world, light goes faster than 670 million miles per hour. Unless they say it goes a billion or trillion miles per hour, then you have an argument there. But you're just saying it goes faster than light? Where? These guys keep on making these statements, or like, oh, in their universe, this concept is more impressive because we just say it. It's like, no, where does it say that? And how is it more akin to irrelevant speed? How is... So going light speed alone, it just makes you go, go in an infinite amount of distance. So light in their universe can go literally an infinite amount of distance. What the fuck? Get out of here. And then he's talking about the bleed. I never talked about the bleed too much. I only said that, when Cosmic Armor Superman got hit by the bleed, he got a hit with a bit of it, not the whole thing. I said even in that video, I was like, I don't know what this would entail. I guess he's giving me his source level or whatever. But they also emphasized a lot on the 100 or I think 200 billion stars he was hit with, which he felt like that was a bigger thing to claim. So if the bleed is more impressive, then why would he be impressed by that? Why would it matter? 200 billion would be like a drop of sand in like the Sahara Desert, like compared to that level of power. Why would you fucking mention that? But he says time spheres, God sphere, bleed, heaven, all these other dimensions. It's just a bunch of dimensional bullshit, which is like, okay, whatever, I don't care. I don't know what your point is here. So I see this and that. He says the source wall is under mechanics called boom tubes. Boom tubes are able to utilized by new gods and allow beings to travel through realms conceptually above them by increasing their volume and size and normal size travel the sphere. Side. The boom tubes can increase size to outer-versal distance differences. No, they can't. What it does is it changes the size of the beings from the fourth world to our universe, which they are a lot bigger, but they're not outer-versal size. If you saw, it was a comic book event where Superman. This is the first time Superman found out that how the Apocalypse in the fourth world works. When he's with Orion fighting his dark side, Orion lets out like there's this being that comes down is going to destroy the universe, and he's basically ripping a hole through through space time, and then the Earths are coming from all these other realities colliding into this dimension, getting destroyed because they're small. And when we see Orion holding it up, the Earth is literally the size of a basketball. So it's like represented the size of basketball. So they are more bigger than the Earth, and we have seen Darkseid reach into it. Even in the Justice game, he's reached out into it, but he's not outer-versal level size. The Earth is still big enough to be seen. It's just not as big. So when Orion showed it, the size was a basketball. So Superman, if he was to go through there without using the boom tube, he would be microscopic. But the Earth itself is the size of a basketball. So the comparisons, basically, Darkseid and them coming out would be either around like star level, or I guess at most, if you want to be ridiculous, solar system level. He could be size of a solar system or a star, but outer-versal, that's ridiculous. And then he just says more stuff about just the explanations, and then he gets to the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension, some people not saying any names here, Dragon Ball for life, will try to lowball the fifth dimension to actually being only 5D. Well, I will admit to this. I don't know how powerful the fifth dimension was, but you guys are making it sound like I was saying that it was only 5D. All I said was he can't compare to the fifth dimension. I never stated that, like I said, I didn't know about, how powerful that would be. I just said that he compares to that fifth dimension. So, yeah, I don't know why you're arguing here. to actual 5D, it's really dumb as it's really bare minimum and inaccessible, transcends all of scaling mentioned prior. The fifth dimension is described as being imagination itself, state to compromise of all existence, both everywhere and outside of existence simultaneously. It's described as being a high level of existence and more complex. Well, the existence they're talking about is the multiverse. It's not talking about the source wall or the God sphere or everything. No, it's not above all that. I don't know where he got that. The imagination of it is that to that degree or whatever. But yeah, he said describe more complex than that. Mxyzptlk dimensions. He's referring to realms, not separating DC and fourth, fifth cosmology. Okay, but Mxyzptlk has shown feats of effortlessly destroying, creating all, killing characters like the Spectre with no effort. Yeah, I've never had a problem with that. All I'm saying is Superman is not on Mxyzptlk's level or above him, but I don't disagree that Mxyzptlk is that powerful. I mean, the whole Joker, Emperor Joker story event showed that. And yes, he could effortlessly, I mentioned already in this video that he can destroy the multiverse, so I don't want to disagree with that. But he gives all these explanations to go around and say the biggest straw man argument against me. And I point out that he tries to do backpedaling like the Rigo dumbass. So he goes like this. This is usually where I stop DC at and stuff like that. Beyond this cosmology, but even there I've stated here is a low ball. I don't have time to list every feat and stuff, so all along DC far above. So he says, all of this alone gets DC far above even boundless, so far above this is the fact that it makes it look small in comparison to the dark multiverse. Superman, who claims not to be universal, has creation level feats that scale to all of this and even above it in some cases. Where is that? Where does Superman have... Once again, show me the universal feats. You can show me this whole stuff, but you can't show me the feats where he's universal and above creation. He's literally on creation level. Okay, show me those creation level feats. Please tell me how you possibly believe that the Dragon Ball cosmology is larger than what I've listed here, and please tell us what you think Goku has ever done that scales to anything close to this. I've debunked Dragon Ball even being 5D. There are literally two Zenos, which would disprove the existence of any 5D structure in Dragon Ball, coupled with the fact that all feats people use to scale Goku to a higher dimensions are widely taken out of context, such as Jiren surpassing time and hits time skip feats. People don't even understand those things operate yet, try to use claim Goku has immeasurable speed and power beyond time. They don't even read the original scans. I think I've made my point. You don't understand even the basic rules of power scaling. You're trying to scale fiction with real life scenarios. Do you know what else does that? Death battle. If you continue to argue and say that Dragon Ball is larger than DC, then you are a completely hopeless fanboy that will continue to get angry, and people tell them how wrong you are, telling people how to cope, when in reality you're the one coping here. The only time I've used the word cope is because these guys use it so much like they're like little kids. But okay, let's go through this. He says, please tell me how you possibly believe the Dragon Ball cosmology is larger than what I've listed here. I never stated that. This is why he's a straw man, because he's giving me this whole synopsis and explanation of the DC cosmology to say, you think the Dragon Ball cosmology is bigger than the DC. Here's the thing. It's not. It's this big, and Dragon Ball is not that big. I never said that Dragon Ball cosmology is insanely big. I never said that the DC cosmology is small. So this is, a straw man. It isn't incorrect, but it isn't true that I said this. He chose this to target. He made a fake narrative so he can target this point to make it sound like he knows what he's talking about and he's right and smarter than me. Well, in reality, I never made that point. So that's stupid right there. So yeah, I don't know why he's arguing there. And please tell me what you think Goku's ever done that scales into to this close. Well, feat-wise, he doesn't scale to those levels, but neither does Superman. You don't show... Tell me where you have the feats that put him on that level. Oh yeah, you don't. But feat-wise, I don't agree with that. But, when it comes to power scaling-wise, when you go from, what he did in the Battle Gods power scaling with the multipliers, he should be having high levels of power. Maybe not to that high level of power, but I never said that. Like I said, this guy thinks I think he's out of versal. I never said he's out of versal. So he's already wrong in that regard. He said, I've debunked Dragon Ball being 5D. Okay, now that's, I think, is ridiculous. I do think Dragon Ball is at least 5D, because we have the fourth dimension and Zamasu merged with time and space and stuff, so that should be 4D, so it should make sense above 5D. He said, there's two Zenos disproving. So, just because Zeno is the ruler of the multiverse and the reality does not mean that because there's two of them that means that the cosmology can't go above that. What? Why is it confined to him? And I know some people will say, well, isn't he the god of the universe? But we also know that throughout Dragon Ball Super, it's very inconsistent. We saw him not being able to even see Dispo, so his power is very inconsistent in that regard. But it has nothing to do with the universe itself. I don't know why that matters. And then he says, which would disprove the structures of Dragon Ball being 5D. I've never said that, but also this argument doesn't prove anything either. A couple of the facts of feats people using to scale go to higher dimensions. Well, they might have put him to higher dimensions, but I never did. So, yeah. Get the hell out of here with that bullshit then. Such as Jiren surpassing time and hit time skip. I already did the whole surfbone debunking thing with the surpassing time thing. Vado said he surpassed time itself, the time binding cage. Basically, it's a different technique than a time skip. Time skip is basically skips forward in time, and when he does it, he goes through in and out of a pocket dimension to skip forward in time. And the time that he skips, he collects it into the dimension. And when he used that time that he collected into the dimension, he used that to create the binding cage, which he put Jiren on. And basically, that was literally him stealing time that he skipped. And then he used that power to control the time that he stole. So this is pure time that he stole, and then he bind him with it. So he literally used a technique that used a time that was stolen, used it to bind him up and keep him in there, and he broke out of it, and Vado said he was beyond time itself. Physically, I'm not saying speed-wise, but physically he is. So that, I disagree. You can watch my Surfbone video on that one. And then where was it? He said... Oh, and then his time skip. Okay, I also explained that in the Surfbone one. Early on, maybe some people might have argued that Goku had irrelevant speed because he was able to move in it. But later on, people at this point agreed that the reason Goku was able to do it is because he overpowered hit. Because we know that if you have a higher level of power, you can surpass different techniques and abilities. So other characters that have like reality warping and time warping would not really work on Dragon Ball characters unless they have also the level of power to match or close to that. Because if the Dragon Ball characters are way more powerful than them, even if they have those crazy abilities, it wouldn't work. Just like hits time skip. So I'm not making that argument here either. These are just a bunch of straw man argument points, and he sounds stupid. People don't even understand that how these things operate. I do. I literally explained it. You and Surfbone don't. You guys don't know how it works. It is time manipulation. And like I said, he surpassed that. But the time binding cage, that's different. Whereas the Tokutobashi is basically a technique. That other one is literally a technique using time itself. So the thing that it's using is time itself. It's not a technique. The technique is only using that time. So yeah. And the measurable speed, I also don't go with these measurable speed stuff. I've made videos talking about against those arguments and the argument itself with the light speed, so I'm not going to go with that 10,000 times. Beyond that, I repeat, I think I made my point. And you don't... Nope, you didn't make your point. You made the dumbest points and arguments out of all. So yeah, I went through all your shit and basically called you out on it. And then going back to just in time, he says, all right... so here's the thing. Saitama's power grows ridiculously at a rate fight goes on against a worthy fight that he faced. Heck, in the last battle fight against OPM, Garo, a guy with the ability to go so fast that he could do in a matter of moments, which... So basically saying that... I'm not going to go through too much of this. He's saying that Saitama can go fast. He grew faster than Garo, so Goku would have to beat him quick. Goku would have to beat him quicker, but not that quick. The reason why I say this is because Garo is nowhere near Goku's level of power, especially at this point, and Saitama still took quite a bit of time to surpass him. So for him, the ceiling is way higher to surpass Goku, so it'll have to take way longer. So Goku could fuck around, but yeah, he would have to beat him right away, but we don't know how much he can get stronger. And then a new guy came in, another new challenger. Jeremy Morris says, you do realize Superman holds back a lot, right? Yes, but he has instances where he has gone off. And like the holding back shit. Who holds back? That's such an excuse. It's like when people were saying with Goku, every time when he fought somebody in Super and they were able to do something to him, they're like, oh yeah, he's holding back his power. Yeah, he's holding back his power, but there's still reasonable levels. Why would he hold it back so much where he can get hurt? Also, if he's against these threats that are threatening the universe and stuff like that, he's not holding back then, and he still can't beat those guys, so he's not on those level. And if he is on the level, then why would he be holding back against those guys who have that big of a threat? And then we go, because if he doesn't hold back, he would accidentally kill someone. I know he's arguing with somebody else with that. TCG comes back. Like, there's so much here. This is almost done. Sorry, guys. Superman doesn't go out because of his narrative, and if he does, he can destroy everything stated by Manhattan, Dr. Manhattan. From EG, I don't know what that is. Superman was mind controlled by Lex Luthor with no amps to his power, and Superman footstep was able to shake the bleed in the God Sphere. Even Trigon was feeling, and it was shocked. Okay, he says Dr. Manhattan said that I don't think he read the Doomsday Clock event. I'm guessing that's where he got it from. Thoroughly. What he was saying is Superman's in the pinnacle of every story because he was the first character, he's the main stuff, whatever. He was saying that he was the importance. He's saying that and the going out all the narrative, yes, I agree with that. He doesn't go out because the narrative. But like I already stated, there was threats that were bigger. When he needed to go out, he couldn't. Unless if he did go out and he just... Because there's only two ways that it could go. Either he did go all out and just wasn't able to handle them, or doesn't go out even against threats like that, and for whatever reason is just stupid. It makes no sense. So what's the point of that? And he said, Dr. Manhattan never said Superman can destroy everything if he lets go. He didn't say that at all. All he was talking about is he's the center of the story itself and the narrative, and that he needs to be connected. He never said he can destroy everything. That's not true. That's bullshit. People were even saying that he could beat Dr. Manhattan. In that Doomsday Clock event, he didn't attack Dr. Manhattan. He attacked somebody else beside him. Anybody with sense could say Dr. Manhattan would destroy him. But he said Lex Mind controlled him and did that, the whole thing. When was that? Can you please just give me a scan for that? Because that's a ridiculous feat to say that just stepping alone, he shook all the Bleed and the God Sphere, and even Trigon felt it. So if you're gonna make that statement, just at least show a scan of it, because that's a really impressive feat of it's true. TCG said, bro, Superman opened his space. Oh my god, he repeated the same shit again. I'm just gonna ignore that shit. And I asked him, when what comic was this for that thing? Well, he hasn't given that out yet. Because that is a crazy statement to make. KYB comes in with his stupid rebuttal. It's not a straw man, LMFAO. You claim Goku beats Superman, but Superman literally scales to 80% of his cosmology. First of all, it is a straw man. Well, most of your arguments are straw man. I never said he was universal. I never said the thing about the bullet stuff. And then him saying that, oh, well, it's not a straw man. How is it a straw man? You were saying that I was saying that the DC universe is not that big and that the Dragon Ball universe is bigger. That is literally a straw man because I never said that. I never said the DC universe is, the Dragon Ball universe is bigger. I never said the DC. First of all, I said how big the DC universe is. I never said how big the Dragon Ball universe is, and then I never said how comparably big these two universes are, stating that Dragon Ball is bigger than that. So it is a straw man because that is literally a straw man right there. I never said those things. You made a false narrative and went to attack that when I never said that. That's what a straw man is. Unless you don't understand what the word means, stupid. He said, you claim Goku beats Superman, but Superman literally scales 80% of the cosmology. No, he does not. He does not scale to the Speed Force. He does not scale to the fourth world. He does not scale to the fifth dimension. He does not scale to any of the other dimension. Because when he has characters that are going to wipe out just the multiverse or a universe, he can't even beat them by himself. He can't even deal with them by himself. So how does he scale to 80% of that if he can't even scale to them? Unless you guys have some really great argument right there. And he said, when I asked him when it was stated that the immeasurable, the light speed thing, he said, maybe when it was stated, maybe because frequently having MFTL plus speed level feats infinite speed and immeasurable speed, and yet characters don't mention light speed until relevant is achieved. No? Okay, I'll go to that. Light speed in DC allows you to travel through realms and capture above to like this God Sphere, like how Superman can travel faster than light and end up in Apocalypse. If you actually did the scaling, you would know this. Okay, first of all, that the relevant thing, this is why I stated it is stupid, because going at the speed of light, you'll be messing with time anyway. So the reason that they mention it whenever they're doing irrelevant stuff like manipulating time through the speed is because that's how fucking light speed works, dumbass. You're talking about power scaling, but you don't even know basic science. And you're insulting me for my grammar, but you can't even understand basic science when you're making an argument. This is dumb. So, yeah. I've stated with Shinra, he was able to go through stop time by going at the speed of light. Why? Because if you go at the speed of light, you can do that. So, going through stop time, you don't need to have, immeasurable speed or all these other irrelevant speed and all these other stuff. So that's why they achieve that, because going light speed will technically give you that ability by the logic. So that's why it's a flawed, statement. Also, he said light speed in DC allows you to travel through realms. No, it doesn't. The way these guys go traveling through these realms, Superman and all these other guys, is because they move way faster than light. They don't cap off at light. What his argument is, they cap off at, since they're stated to be light speed, they cap off at light, but they're able to go to these crazy ass places and do this crazy stuff. You know why? Because they don't cap off to that. They don't. That's why it seems like light speed's faster. It's because you're misinformed, you're a dipshit. Superman moves way faster than the speed of light. When he does those feats, he's not moving at the speed of light. He wouldn't be moving that fast. And I don't think he's really gone to the God Sphere and stuff like that. And Apocalypse, if he was to travel, like I said, if the Earth is the size of a basketball to them, then a human would be microscopic, or at least the size of a bug, right? So Superman would have been microscopic, which wouldn't have helped out. So, and also they say you can't just get through the fourth world without a boom tube, so that's a lie. He says, saying, you know, you're completely biased for Dragon Ball. It's even in your channel's name. Once again, they're going with this whole narrative. Even Rigo went with this whole narrative until, you know, he saw that video and then he backpedaled with his argument. He's like, okay, yeah, you know what, you don't over exaggerate their power, but you do put down other characters' powers. But then I also don't want to acknowledge the fact that I over exaggerate the character's power that I was talking about Superman, and then under exaggerate the other character's powers like Mxyzptlk to make Superman sound even more powerful because he scales above him. Once again, it doesn't really matter if my name is this or that. I've never stated he's universal, and he brings that shit up again. He said, so I'll give you a taste of your own mess and ask you when was it ever stated that Dragon Ball has infinite metaphysical realms, conceptual, transcending each other, and will Goku ever scale to that? Once again, a straw man. This guy does not know what a straw man is, or doesn't know my points. I've never stated that the Dragon Ball universe is infinite or the subsequent other universes that are connected. I said that they're just universe size. If you've seen my channel, you guys know at this point, I've beat this like a dead fucking horse. I've gone through this multiple times. I've stated countless times throughout my channel, the Dragon Ball universe is not infinite. My own fans are disagreeing with me. They're saying it's infinite. I literally said in the last video it's not infinite. I made a whole thing about it. I said the Dragon Ball universe is modeled off of our universe. And the reason why scientists say our universe is infinite is to cap it off because we don't know through scopes and telescopes and shit, whatever. And it has a limit to how much it can reach through the Hawking radiation. So no, I have never, ever said that the Dragon Ball universe is infinite or the other universes on top of it. I've never said that. So once again, you're wrong. I never said it was infinite or transcends all this stuff. That's my viewers. If you want to have that debate with them, go ahead. But don't try to make that shit with me. So I've never said that. Just like I've never said Goku's universal. So yeah, the whole infinite stuff. I've literally contradicted that. So yeah, you're fighting literally a ghost. You're attacking a ghost with your points because that's not me. You're not attacking me. That's not me saying that. And I never said Goku scaled to his entire universe, but Superman doesn't either. That's what I'm saying. Superman has in the past, again, nope, he hasn't. Already debunking your claim. See, this makes me laugh because he says debunking my claims, but the arguments he's making against stuff I never said. So you're not debunking my claims. You're debunking shit that you made up. Stupid ass, man. This guy, he's the biggest dumb fuck out of all of them. He's literally just being stupid now. You're proving, you also prove you don't even pay attention to prior comments. Goku Tars all use the same shitty feats over and over again to try to prove that Goku has immeasurable speed or universal. And you clearly don't fucking listen. You're saying that I'm just like them? You clearly don't listen. Hopefully you listened in this video because I said I have more than enough. I think I beat that into your fucking skull. Even though you're clearly a thick-skulled retard, I think I beat enough to your dumb fucking head, right? I already explained that I don't believe any of that stuff. So yeah, get the fuck out of my face with that stupid shit. They all have been debunked many times. I don't care. I've never said that. Incredible said to do whatever you kind of. Incredible said Goku tries to even take scans out of out of context to try to claim completely fake shit. This is even fake. Fan made a scan for Z. What does this have to do with me, motherfucker? I never did this shit. Who the fuck are you going on? Like I said, you're attacking everybody else and then trying to associate me with these people. You say nobody cares about grammar yet. Funny since I see people roasting you about it all over your comment section. Actually, you and the other guy were the only ones that roasted me about it. Nobody else really cared. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter because I'm just proving you right now. I made you look like a retard right now. So prove to me you're a genius because you look like a retard. And anybody with a sensible brain knows she's a dumbass. He said, hey, you're literally... Goku has better and more consistent features. You're literally hopeless. No matter what anyone says to you, you will always completely bias towards Goku and Dragon Ball. No matter how much undeniable proof everyone has given you, these two wrong, whatever. You might as well just have the title Goku fan service. Oh yeah, check out my last video. Let's see how much fan service I had in that one. How much I was giving him so much fan service. It was not fan service. It was me telling Superman's not on that level. You could say I was downplaying Superman, But you can't say I was giving Goku fan service, and it wasn't even downplaying it. You guys are overhyping him. I don't know what version of Superman you have done research, but of all of them, but from the third part, I've done on all of them. Has 60 over. Oh my god, stop repeating the same shit, dude. God, fuck. He said multiversal. Again, you scale Goku off of Wank and scale Superman off anti-feats. I did not scale Superman off of anti-feats. The feats they gave me, I just gave context against it. That's not me. Here's the thing. If it was anti-feats, I would have just brought up feats and then said, this is what it is, this is what it is, this is how powerful he is, and only brought up the anti-feats. But I've only talked about one you guys brought up. Maybe stop bringing up fucking stupid feats that can be easily debunked and be shown that it was not the case. That's on you guys for bringing up these stupid arguments that can be easily disproven. And then you guys are saying, you're bringing up anti-feats. And I never brought up a wank of Goku. What the fuck? I keep on using Goku destroying the universe and just scaling off of that. Where the fuck is that a wank? We would like to match something different region. Goku gets... Again, if you're scaling to anti-feats, then you say Goku gets hurt by fire and shit when he lets his guard down. He's wall level since bullets and rocks can hurt him. You claim Goku's a master martial artist. Yes, in Superman, he regularly gets beaten up by people who haven't trained. Yeah, because they're more powerful than him, dipshit. And don't even know martial arts. First Frieza, Broly, then Kale. I guess you're all master martial artists too, right? Even current Goku doesn't know what meditation is. Just admitting, that's him. That's his dumb fucking ass. Look, I'm gonna go through some of the stuff. I've stated before that they have low points. I've made videos talking about inconsistencies. It's not like I've hidden from that. And I'm not saying that Superman, I'm not pointing out his low feats and saying this is how powerful he is. I'm saying that he has low feats, and these arguments, there's contradictions to it. So that's all I'm saying. Also saying that, you know, he's a master martial artist, but yet in Super he gets beaten up by Frieza, Broly and stuff. Frieza, Broly and them, first of all, Frieza does have fighting skill, but Frieza and Broly and them, it was just because they're way more powerful. You can have fighting skill. Like, let's say if you're on the levels of same level of power of somebody, or a little bit above them, or they're a little bit above you or decently above you. If you have good enough skills, you can surpass that. But still, there's still a ceiling of level of power that you cannot. When he was fighting against Frieza, Frieza was just way more powerful than him. Broly was way more powerful than him. And then Kale, people say that he was holding back. But even with that, even though I think it was stupid how powerful they made Kale wasn't going to be defeating Goku. So yes, Goku he is a martial artist. It's just that martial arts can't help you against ridiculously more powerful beings. It will help out, but it can't, you know, be a one-all defeat-all, you know, shit. And he said Goku didn't know meditation. I did mention that in the Dragon Ball Super movie, but that was a retcon thing. He said, and there's a lot of shit in Super, the manga, Vegeta's shocked when Beerus destroys a planet, Vegeta and Resurrect. No, he's not. When Beerus sneezes and he destroys it, he was shocked that he was, you know, destroying stuff even when in his sleep. He wasn't shocked that he destroyed a planet. Like, what the fuck is argument is this? Goku in their fight was threatening the universe. He wasn't even that shocked when the universe was getting threatened. Why would he be getting shocked with the planet? You're a dumb fuck, dude. Just say you're retarded and just be done with it. Vegeta Resurrection, F dies when they're destroyed. Nope, he died because of the lack of oxygen. He suffocated in space. Yeah, he even admits that he suffocated in space. It had nothing to do with explosion. To be in space, obviously, battle gods, Goku fought in space. Does this mean Vegeta is only planetary level? I've never said Superman is only that weak level. I just said that he's not as powerful. What the fuck is wrong with these guys? If it was Superman, he was right. All the friction, point of parts can analyze both characters at their best. Otherwise, it's bad. No. It's to analyze them at the most consistent, where you can take some of their best feats, but you also have to be reasonable and say, was this a one-time thing? Was this consistent with what he does? And does this work? Because you can't just, if you just use high-end feats, if they don't consistently match, then it doesn't matter. So no, you don't take those, that's called dick riding those characters. You're using their most OP ridiculous stuff, so no. The fact that he says DC is more inconsistent than Dragon Ball shows how ignorant you are. You just don't pay attention. Yes, DC is inconsistent. First of all, it's been around for decades. It has many different writers. It is going to be more inconsistent. It's so inconsistent to the point that they've done these rebirth events and these, you know, crisis events because they keep on renewing the story because of how convoluted it gets. If you watch comic book channels when they talk about these crisis events, they keep on saying that this happened because it's convoluted. It's convoluted. It's convoluted. They keep on doing it. They said it recently, like, we're not doing that anymore. Then they did it again because they themselves know, even the fucking company itself knows, like, yeah, we're very inconsistent with our own writing, that we have to keep on revamping our own stories. At least Dragon Ball stays with consistency of writing the story forward, even if it's inconsistent. Whereas them, they get so inconsistent to the point, like, yep, let's just redo. There's a reason why they restart it all. I said, you say cosmology doesn't matter, but then again shows how ignorant you are. Without cosmology, characters can't be skilled in the first place. I didn't say cosmology doesn't matter. I'm saying it doesn't matter to scale it to that high of characters don't scale to that level. Unless you're talking about like godly beings, which Superman I don't consider. But because they're like, high entity beings, then I can see you using that. But when it comes to most regular characters, you don't need to know everything about cosmology. It's pointless. I'm not a DC fanboy. I do like the original Z and GT, but not Super, and I like exactly what people like you. And I don't like it exactly because of people like you. Claim this shit is factual, trying to add more people to your herd of misinformation. You had misinformation this entire time. And no, you do not like it. You dick ride DC. Just admit it. You're bullshitting. Or you just don't know shit about DC and just want to nut hug Superman for some reason. People actually do research in DC and read comic books like Multiverse and for Christ. Yeah, I've read those and I've shown panels. And those same people that do those, make those videos, I've proven them wrong. Variant Comics, all these other fuckers, I've proven them wrong. What the fuck's your point? So yeah, I'm done with this thing. He said, hop on Cord, I'll show you 5 scans. Well, this is recently. Oh shit. I didn't even see this. It's just out 18 hours ago. I didn't check it. I'll show you scans of higher spiritual, dimensional stuff. Show me Superman beating him. Don't show me these dimensions. I don't give a fuck about dimensions. Fourth, he's like, anti-life does make you stronger. The proof is that even if, according to Grant Morrison, is a counter to the source wall, even if it's complete, even if it wasn't complete. So he was first saying it was complete, now he's saying it wasn't complete. Backpedaling like a motherfucker. It stated that it was nearly was and it was borderline at full power. Okay. You know it doesn't need to be a full power to work in effect, and since it was already working in comic. And we know this, just overcoming the common stress and having strong whatever, but siphon. Yeah, but like I said with this one, it is the antithesis and the opposite of what the source wall is. The source wall has hope, which basically gives everybody hope and the power of hope, whereas the anti-life takes it away and gives you despair. It's stated before it has despair. So as the opposite of hope is despair, right? And it has the equivalent of power of the source wall can give people hope. Whereas this can take away their hope and take away their free will. So basically the source wall is like, the whole concept and argument about God giving us free will. So that's free will. Whereas the anti-life is no free will. That's the only thing that compares. It never stated that it amplifies your raw power or anything else to that level. Okay, so, and he's like, he wasn't talking to me, but KYB was talking to Just in Time. He said, it was stated by Vados was Jiren's strength would surpass time. First of all, it's impossible to be stronger than something that's not physical with raw lifting strength. That's like saying you lifted nothingness. It was not his lifting strength, it was his brute strength, his physical strength. I've stated before, lifting strength and strength are two different things. His strength of him being able to punch or hit or attack or fight, it was above that. And yes, you can be above that. If you can be above it through speed, why can't you be above it through strength? You can be above it through existence. He's saying that Superman's above through all these other concepts of stuff through physical means and beings that are conceptual through physical fighting. Because he doesn't have conceptual powers, he has physical powers, right? He can beat them through physical powers, but Jiren can't surpass time, which is, not physical, with physical abilities? Okay. See the hypocrisy there. He lifted it. This is different strength. Second of all, it wasn't even time itself. It was Hit's time cage, which is a pocket dimension as explained by so many people. Hit's time ability worked with a pocket dimension that hops in and out for a fraction of a second time. Time cage is literally just him stealing his opponents in the same pocket dimension where time is different, doesn't exist. And Dragon Ball hacks are overpowered by having a bigger key. So, okay, his argument to him was, he says the same thing that Surfer Bone said. I explained Surfer Bone is wrong. The way it works is, Surfer Bone's like, he just goes into a dimension like, what's his name? Obito does with Kamui. No, he doesn't. The time cage thingy is not him using a technique. She said time itself, and he stated that when he skips forward in time, he collects time itself, and then traps it at the time that he skips ahead. And then he was accumulating all the time that he skipped forward in his entire life, and used this technique to create a time binding cage, to bind him in this cage where he was using time. So that is incorrect. It was literally time. When he skipped forward, he would steal time itself, and then he would use his own power to manipulate that time itself to do it. So yes, it is. So when Goku surpasses, is not that. And we've seen the differential between those two, because when Goku surpassed, Hitsutoku Tobashi, nobody said he surpassed time. They just said he surpassed his technique. Whereas in this one, she says specifically time itself. Also, KYB said that he said something like space-time is not even linked or some shit. I forgot what it was, but there's a couple more left and I'm going to be done. I think I've went on this topic enough. I think I've proven enough evidence, unless you guys want to keep on just, whatever, going back and forth and shit. Okay, so we have like a few left. Now, these are the last ones. I've been going on this point enough. I think I've made my point enough and I've gone through this. Okay, so a guy named TCG. I should have probably done this earlier so it would have been shorter. He said, yes, bro, the anti-life equation makes you stronger because it's compared to the source. The source is stated to be above all. Okay. Once again, it's hope. I re-explained that. I'm not going to go through that shit again. He said, DC, death metal, soul, fire, flame, whatever. And then he says, bro, anti-life is raw power because the source is raw power. It's stated as direct counter. It's hope that can amplify your raw power, but the anti-life has never been stated to amplify your powers and stuff. All it does is give you the ability to control other people's will. It doesn't give you the power equivalent to the source wall or increase your power in any other regards. It never stated it was an amplification in any other way. And then finally with Rigo again, he says, and it did spit on your dumb argument like everyone else tries to bring consistency when it's clear that having many comics will be inconsistent. If you take into account all the high ends, they're easily consistent enough to not actually be high ends. Yet you guys say that there's this many scans, you didn't give me any proof or evidence. And then Mel just comes in with Superman bodies the chump, Batman souls this verse, He-Man one shots, Superboy Prime retcons this verse, Spawn decimates him. You can already see he's stupid. Superman does not body Goku. I already made those points. Batman soul in the verse. Get the fuck out of here. He-Man one-shotting, I don't know enough about He-Man, but I don't really agree with that. I think that's way too ridiculous. Superboy Prime retcons. The only reason he was retconning is because he was in another dimension where it held in all the memories from all the other realities, and when he was punching these dimensional glass, it was basically sending shockwaves throughout the reality, so that's why that happened. But yeah, Superboy Prime, I already made a whole video on that if you guys wanted to check that out on his strength. And Spawn, it really depends. If it's his godly form when he fought God, I can definitely see that. See, I'm not a Superman, not a Goku Dragon Ball fanboy. I can definitely see that in that argument regard. So yeah, if it's the one that beat God, I don't have a problem with that. And then he just says sexuality, superior arguments, whatever. And then I think there was one more. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure you guys especially the guys that I called out, you're not going to enjoy this video, but I hope the other ones that do agree with me or, whatever, at least I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this one was mad long. I think this is going to be my longest video ever, and I'm planning. I didn't plan to make it this long, but like I said, there's so many comments I had to go through them because this. You guys might say, well, you don't have to go through all of them, but if I don't, these guys are gonna come out and say you're scared, you ducked this argument, you ducked that argument. People do that shit, so it's like even if I do enough, it's never gonna be enough. So I had to go through all of them. Maybe I should have put an end to this earlier on. It's just that I had a lot of homework and I had school and I had work, so I didn't have time to do that. But now I did, and I got it finished. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.